How does the inspection panel work? The World Bank Inspection Panel receives complaints from communities around the world about harm or potential harm caused by World Bank finance projects. The projects need to be financed by the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, the IBRD, or International Development Association, or IDA, of the World Bank Group. Complaints can include different types of harm or potential harm to people or their environment resulting from infrastructure projects or from involuntary resettlement in such projects, for example, by a dam, road, pipeline, or other infrastructure. Issues related to indigenous peoples, their culture, traditions, and their lands. The adverse impacts on environment and natural habitats, such as air and water pollution, and impacts on forests, fisheries, and protected areas, and lack of consultation, participation, and access to information. Who can submit a complaint? Complaints can be made by two or more individuals, community groups, or representative organizations based in the country where the World Bank project is located. In exceptional cases, an international representative can file a complaint on behalf of local communities. An executive director of the bank or the bank's board can also request the panel to carry out an investigation. What should the complaint include? The complaint should include 1. A description of the harm the complainants are suffering or are likely to suffer. 2. The name and description of the project and its link to the harm, and, if known, the bank policies believed to have been violated. 3. Steps taken to bring the issues to the attention of the World Bank staff, and why the bank's response was inadequate. If filed by a non-local organization, a letter signed by the community members authorizing representatives to act on their behalf. When? The complaint cannot be related to procurement, fraud, or corruption, which are handled by other bank units, filed after the closing of a project, or when over 95% of the funds have been dispersed. One where the panel has already made recommendations about the same issues unless there is new evidence. How? The complaint can be submitted in writing, dated and signed, with names and contact information of all involved organizations and communities, in any language, via mail, email, or dropped off at any World Bank office. If asked to do so, the panel will keep the names and personal information of those filing the complaint strictly confidential. What next? 1. The inspection panel determines if a complaint is acceptable. It then makes a recommendation on whether or not to go forward with a full investigation. World Bank management also responds to the complaint, and finally, the World Bank board decides whether the complaint will be investigated. Number 2. The panel and a team of experts then travel to the site to thoroughly research the situation and meet with the complainants and their communities, civil society, bank staff, and government officials. 3. In light of the panel's investigation report and management's response, the board approves an action plan to address and remedy the issues raised in the complaint. For more information, visit the panel's website and click on How to File a Request.